another daily spark of possibility. And today I want to talk about adaptability, or basically how do you react when things don't go your way? Because as an entrepreneur, it's going to happen all the time. And what sparks it is something that happened yesterday, where I saw really 3 ways of reacting to something unexpected within an hour, basically. So it first started with me having a couple of fittings arranged, one for 12 in the center of Granada and one for 2 o'clock in a village about 40 minutes out. And so while I'm in the middle of that fitting, I get this phone call from the teacher from the village, and she goes, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm about to finish up, so I'm, sort of about to head off. I'll see you in a bit." And there was this moment of silence, that really sounded like, "Oh," and she goes, "Oh, I've told the mothers at 12. And I'm like, no, it was at 2, because I knew that I had this 12 o'clock appointment in Granada. So that's why I said 2. And that's been standing for a while. Like, I know I didn't mix it up. And she'd heard 12. The thing is, in Spanish, dos y doce, with a bit of background noise, easy to mix up. So she had all these mothers there who'd been waiting for half an hour. And now the prospect was to wait for another 45 minutes. And they were totally freaking out. She said they yelled at her. One was threatening to take the kid out of dance class, and that was like taking the piss. And so they got really angry. The teacher in tears, and so there was this huge drama. And my first reaction was like, "Oh, for God's sake," So, like, to be honest, my first reaction was like, "Come on, in your remote, kind of half-dead village, you can't tell me that you're so busy on a Saturday that you can't go for a coffee and wait for me to get there," But then I thought, well, don't really know what's going on for these people. So, and because the teacher called me back a little later, and she goes, "Don't come now. They've left, like half of them pissed off." And so she was like exhausted, stressed. She'd been crying. And I was like, like a bit peeved off, because I thought, well, you drown in a glass of water, which means that I have to now reshuffle my week to go another day. And that second, the idea came to me that I had actually been in touch with some, like a handful of coaching colleagues who'd been on a retreat literally next door to where I live. And so they'd said like, "Oh, it'd be lovely to have a coffee, because, Deborah's out on her way back home and we're coming through Granada." And I'd said like, "Look, I'm out and about, I won't be able to make it." And all of a sudden, like, my state of mind changed in an instant. Oh, that means I can now call them and I might be able to catch up with them. And so I did. Now, we arranged to meet like at the bus station, because one of them had to catch the bus to get to the airport. They got stuck in traffic and ended up missing that bus. And so there they were. "Oh, missed the bus. Oops." Like, couldn't be cooler. I mean, I guess they'd been on a week-long retreat, so you could really tell, like, it wasn't like, "Okay, yeah, I'm going to have to drive you then." One had another 3 hours of drive ahead of her. No big deal. The other one goes, "Yeah, whatever." It was just the whole range of experiences, like, within an hour. And it goes to show, like, how we react is so much more about where we are at the moment. And then it is about the situation. So how do you react when things don't go your way? See you tomorrow.